Okay, so 1 week without caffeine. These are the things that I've been noticing as I've completely cut caffeine out of my life. I don't drink coffee, I'm not drinking any caffeinated tea, and no energy drinks. So I've completely limited all caffeine consumption. And that's a lot for me because I went from averaging an energy drink or two a day, a couple cups of coffee as well a day, lots of chocolate. I was probably taking in about 600 milligrams of caffeine a day up until my decision a week ago to completely cut it out. So this is what I've noticed. The first few days were the worst. I would say the first 3 days, I felt like hell. I could not get out of bed. I felt horrible. I was just nauseous and dizzy and faint, and my head was pounding. And that was a big reason why I wanted to keep it going. Because I was like, man, if I'm this dependent on something, what is it doing to me? How can I be this addicted to something that I've just kind of written off as everyone likes caffeine? This is just like part of life. But I wanted to see what would happen if I just kept it going and if that energy would eventually come back. So around day four, I went on a long walk, and that was the most I could do. Now, I'm a runner, I'm a marathoner. I do so much mileage in a given week. And so this week was my lowest mileage week of all time. But that fourth day, I decided I could actually get out there, go on a little walk, enjoy the sights, but I still felt a little off. And it was only until day 5 that I was like, you know what, I'm gonna go try to run. And I noticed it was so interesting to me psychologically, not having that caffeine before a run, how I wanted the ritual. So what I did was there's this really cool tea that's called Teachino. This is not a sponsored kind of a video or anything, but it's an herbal tea company that offers caffeine-free, low acidic, kind of like it's like teas that kind of taste similar to coffee. So it has chicory root and like vanilla caramel flavoring and stuff. And so basically I use this tea mixed with some other tea bags. I basically just like made this concoction with 5 tea bags to kind of simulate a cup of coffee. It was like the Teachino and some ginger turmeric tea. And I drank that before my run, even though there was no caffeine in it. And for whatever reason, maybe because I felt more hydrated, I actually felt kind of revved up. And I was like, that's kind of cool, even though there was no caffeine in that like cup that I made. So I went and ran, and I will say that first mile, no caffeine was really hard. I felt like hell. I just didn't put any pressure on myself though. So I put the speed down very, very, very low. So it was only a 10-minute mile or something, but I started slow and I eased into it. And I found as I was going, it started to feel a little bit easier, and maybe it's the adrenaline from running, but I noticed that I could kind of relax inside the run. And that was actually really empowering. I'm like, wow, I wonder what this could do to my training if I can just relax inside of my runs. And I was listening to an audiobook, and that kind of helped me stay chill and not feel like I had to pressure myself to go any faster. But then when I finished the run, I actually felt more accomplished than I have in a really long time, even though I was going really slow, nowhere near my race paces or anything. I felt really accomplished. And then I felt kind of like I had done something really hard, which I had. That it kind of reminded me of what it felt like getting sober from alcohol for the first time, and how empowering it felt to not have to rely on anything to like get me to go. So that was pretty cool. And one thing I noticed is that my hunger cues are so different while I'm not taking in caffeine. So I notice when I'm really hungry, and when I eat, I notice when I'm really satiated. And I find that like those cues, I think they might have been interrupted by how much caffeine I was taking in. So it's just an interesting thing to observe, because I've been noticing when I go to bed at night, especially that night, that was the first night I really felt like when I ate, I could really feel when I was totally full and then fall asleep at a natural time. And I'm wondering if the caffeine is actually like waking up my natural circadian rhythm. So this is something that I've been researching a lot about, and I think there's something to be said about how caffeine ultimately does disturb our natural circadian rhythm. So I could kind of eat, feel full, go to bed at a normal time, rest, and then wake up feeling pretty rejuvenated. So I will say that it's only been 1 week, and I still do feel a little bit more tired in the morning. Like I'll wake up and I'll be like, oh man, I just want to have that pep. But I'm almost excited to know that not having that pep has extended my energy for the rest of the day. So I'll run and then I'll still feel like I have energy and not feel like I need to have something to kind of keep me going. So it's been fascinating to myself. Like this is just like a self-experiment, and I'm also excited to think about what could happen as far as longer term, not elevating my cortisol, my stress, or having that adrenaline surge, and just allowing my body to feel my own hunger cues, notice when I'm actually full, as well as like fall asleep at natural times. So yeah, those are the things that I've noticed right off the bat as I've embarked on this journey of quitting caffeine. And it's just a fun challenge in general. So if you're interested in just completely cutting out caffeine, jump on board. Let's all count days caffeine free together. It's kind of a fun little experiment. So yeah, thanks for tuning in. And until next time, just be fast, just win.